Indeed she can, and as we take a look at the numbers over her last 4 games, they're just unreal. 21.8 points per game, nearly 50% from the floor and from 3, and about 80% from the free throw line.
Consecutive points in Florida State's comeback win at Virginia on Thursday night. Let's see if she can continue that hot streak here this afternoon.
Underway here in Tallahassee. Florida State controls the opening tip. It'll be Tanaya Latson bringing it up into the half court for the Noles. Bejedi wastes no time, lines up a 3 and is off the mark to the left. Back the other way comes Pittsburgh. And it's the freshman Washinet's bringing it back across for the Panthers. And now up top, Amber Brown, who has been one of the leading scorers for Pittsburgh this season, giving it up the 3 ball, no good by the sophomore Malia Johnson.
Both these teams will look to score in transition if possible. Both will try to push the tempo a little bit. Pitt coming out here in a zone defense.
Familiar starting 5 for Florida State. Of course, the headliner, Tanaya Latson, one of the leading scorers in the NCAA. There's a live ball turnover by the Noles, and here comes Pittsburgh trying to run. Noles have numbers, though, so they hold on. It'll be Johnson operating from the wing. And an offensive foul call.
Foul going to go on Liatu King. Trying a little bit too hard to get some post position. It's an interesting Pitt squad. Nobody over 6 foot in their starting lineup. So Liatu King at 6 foot going to be matched up potentially with one of the Florida State guards. Pitt was trying to go inside there, but a little bit too much contact.
Once again, Bejedi with the basketball, now swings it out wide to Tanaya Latson. Back to Bejedi, looking for another 3, this time long and out of play.
Florida State on their first few possessions settling for those open 3s. They've been at their best when they've been able to put it on the floor and get to the paint, which is exactly why Coach Lance White has put in that zone defense to try to keep the Noles out of the paint and force them into those long shots.
Here's Liatu King now kicking it out to Strickland. No scoring yet. Amber Brown wants to change that with the right hand, kisses it off the glass, and Pittsburgh leads 2-0.
Talked about how good Sara Bejedi has been for Florida State. Amber Brown has been equally as good in the last 4 games for the Pitt Panthers. 2 20-point games in their last 4 for Brown.
One way to beat the zone is if you can make some perimeter shots. Florida State has not been able to do so. Tanaya Latson was looking for it there. Now inside once again, Strickland left it short. Back the other way, Jasmine Massengill holds on to the basketball. Looked like maybe Florida State was looking for a trailer. Instead, they get a 3 after they rotate the basketball to Erin Howard.
They do get a trailer, and it was Erin Howard. It took one extra pass to get it, but Howard knocking it down from long range. All 4 of Florida State's attempts, however, have been from beyond the 3-point line. Sara Bejedi applying a lot of pressure on the freshman Washinets.
Down low, Johnson had it swatted by KK Timpson. Both 21s collide on the floor, so it's 4-on-4 back the other way, and Latson's runner is in and out.
I think KK Timpson actually stepped on Johnson, not intentionally by any stretch. Just 2 players got tangled up. Glad to see both pop up and be okay.
Strickland cashes it in from the left wing.
Big shot from the freshman Avery Strickland, averages about 6 points a game for the Pitt Panthers.
Couple of freshmen and Lance White starting 5. Inside the zone it goes. Massengill doesn't get the shot to drop, but will shoot a couple of free throws.
Florida State needs to look into that middle of the zone defense for the Pitt Panthers. It was Jazz Massengill there, but look for a variety of players to step into that area on the floor that's marked with the ACC. You'll see Tanaya Latson creep in there. Jazz Massengill will be in there often. I think you'll see Erin Howard in there as well as the Noles try to break down this zone defense by Lance White and his squad. You see head coach Brooke Wyckoff in her first full season as the head coach of the Florida State Seminoles. So we've got a delay here in the action. I think there's some discussion here amongst the officials. Not sure exactly what they're discussing.
You mentioned Coach Wyckoff in her first season as the official head coach here in Tallahassee, at the helm of an offense that is the best in the ACC and certainly one of the best in the country. And no communication as to what we're looking at, and frankly, Coach Wyckoff doesn't know either.
Yeah, there was no question about the foul. I don't believe either coach argued that. There was clearly contact. It was Jazz Massengill that was going to go to the free throw line. Foul was called on Johnson. I believe she was the one that committed the foul, so not sure what the officials are huddled up to. Officiating crew for today, Tom Danaher, Mark McClenny, and Whitney Armstrong. It's Mark McClenny that is explaining something to head coach Lance White. Brooke asking for an explanation as well.
Yeah, I could read her lips. She was saying, what is happening? What is going on?
Yeah, typically they'll send one official to each bench to communicate that, but here they sent someone to Lance White's bench, but then no one has communicated with Coach Brooks, so she goes back to her own huddle. We're going to get a quick report here from Whitney Armstrong. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
So, I'm not sure if you could hear that from official Whitney Armstrong. They're going to go look for a possible unobserved foul by Florida State. Those are her exact words. I'm repeating those, and I have to tell you, Sean, I'm not sure exactly what that means. I got to be honest. Haven't heard that one. Apparently there must have been maybe Coach Lance White or his Pitt bench thought that there was some type of other foul that was committed, so they're going to go back and look to see. She did say that they were still in the window to do that, which means that it was before the next dead ball, and we'll try to get some clarification once they have taken a look at the replay monitor, and you can see that frustration on the face of Brooke Wyckoff there. Everybody just wants to get things going here. You know, you're a couple minutes into the game and you just want to play basketball, and you hate long, lengthy delays. Broadcasters don't like them either.
No, we certainly do not. And frankly, I have to say, I don't think I've really seen anything like this anytime recently. I don't want to speak in absolutes and say I've never seen anything like this, because I very well might have a few times. But I haven't seen anything play out quite like this in quite some time, at the very least.
You know, I wonder, the only thing I can wonder is that we talked about how I thought KK Timpson had accidentally stepped on Malia Johnson on the last play. It clearly did not look at all intentional from our vantage point. Looked like she came down and fell. Feet got tangled up. So I don't know if possibly they were going back to look at something like that, or if there was some other play that we missed. It appears that they're looking at something on the defensive end by Florida State. Take a look here at what we'll possibly be looking at. Here's a fall from KK. And, I mean,
it's purely incidental.
There was no way. There's a foul either way. I mean, Malia Johnson's on the ground. Shouldn't have been any contact. I don't know if that's what maybe Lance White was thinking, that there was something that had happened after the play, but certainly won't. Both players, if you had run that a little longer, I think you would have seen that both players helped each other up. There was no ill will, I don't think, from either one. They both grabbed hands and hopped back up. So we'll hopefully get some explanation here. It may have been a coach called, like, hey, can you go take a look at that? And they do go look at that if they think there's something extra.
And again, this is a Pittsburgh team under Lance White that is looking for their first ACC win this season, but they have certainly been in some tight ball games, had leads in a few of them over teams like Louisville and at times against Virginia Tech. So they are certainly capable of competing, and we'll see what the call is here.
Based on Brooke Wyckoff's body language, she looked like, okay, fine, we're good. So it does not appear that they have found anything. I believe Tom Danaher will go to the mic and we'll listen to what he says. We're unable to hear that, but it appears we're just going to resume play. No harm, no foul. Let's play some hoops here. at the Tucker Center this afternoon.
Well, what we do know is that Jazz Massengill was fouled on her mid-range shot attempt, so she'll shoot a couple of free throws, missing the first.
Nothing else that may have iced the shooter, as Massengill had a good 4 or 5 minute break there. 1 of 2 from the line, cuts the lead by just 1.
Taylor O'Brien subbing in for the Seminoles as Pittsburgh sends it back in with a 1-point lead, 5-4. Over the first 3.5 minutes of action here at the Donald L. Tucker Center. Amber Brown from the elbow, too strong. O'Brien whipping it up the floor. Mariana Valenzuela checking in, kicking it back to O'Brien, I should say. Then she had it blocked. Cynthia Azeza with the block for the Panthers.
Azeza had been out with an injury, missed a number of games early this season, but has come in and given these Pitt Panthers a spark. Played some good minutes in their last game versus Virginia Tech. Big block from Azeza. Taylor O'Brien tried to get into the paint.
Ball knocked out of play, and it still remains with the Panthers. O'Brien got a hand on it. And there's a steal, and Tanaya Latson's racing up the floor. Then she had her pocket picked. I think that was freshman on freshman. Washenitz was able to poke that ball away.
It was Washenitz, I believe, had committed the turnover and then came back, made the hustle play to knock that one away from Latson. Stop the potential freshman of the year, Latson.
Down low to Azeza, working on KK Timpson. Turnaround with the right hand, too strong. Timpson clears the board, and back comes Omaria Gordon now checking in for Florida State. Latson for 3. Got it.
Big shot from Tanaya Latson. Her first bucket of the game. She's the leading scorer in the ACC. Averages over 23 points a game for Florida State in her freshman season.
6 of Florida State's 7 points have come from beyond the perimeter. There was also a free throw make by Jasmine Massengill. They lead at 7-5. Timpson already has 1 block on this possession. Got a hand on another one.
Maria Gordon chases it down right in front of the Seminole bench. Look
Mariana
out.
Valenzuela wide open. Count it.
You do not want to leave Mariana Valenzuela open. She shoots it over 50% from beyond the three-point line, 59% to be exact. Got to know where she's at.
Foul called on the floor. No free throws coming for Amber Brown. And just to add to that, in ACC play, it's somewhere around 67-68% from the perimeter for Valenzuela. She and the Noles have stretched their lead. A 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 3 seconds. We'll take the timeout with the officials and the teams here at the Tucker Center and be back in a moment.
Was on my way to work. The car behind me.
Much he taught her during their time together. He absolutely adores Coach Wyckoff, and it's so incredible getting to see her step into her own coaching role, especially this season. He's excited to see what happens, and we are too. So let's get back to the game. Thanks, guys.
All right, Mackenzie, thank you so much. And it certainly is exciting to see Coach Wyckoff take the reins. We saw her do it for a year as the interim, now shedding that tag. And it really has been a fantastic start for Florida State. And Lance White's got Pittsburgh playing some pretty good basketball, too.
They certainly are. They're playing much better. They've been close in every one of their ACC games. They had Virginia Tech on the ropes in the last game on Thursday night. They're hanging tough here today against the Florida State Seminoles, his former team.
Foul called against Florida State on the shot attempt. And that should send Dayshanette Harris to the free throw line.
Foul going to go on Valencia Myers, who had just checked into the game because KK Timpson had picked up a foul. And Florida State with the size advantage inside. Players like Timpson at 6'2", Myers at 6'3". The more traditional low block post players. Coach Lance White having to improvise a little bit with some smaller post players in players like Liatu King and Amber Brown in the post.
Harris splits the pair of free throws, and now here comes Omaria Gordon back the other way for Florida State. One possession game. Knowles trying to get in the middle of that zone, and now Snoop Turnage drives on the baseline, kicking it back out to Taylor O'Brien. Turnage looking for a little space.
Florida State not able to find anything in the middle of that zone. You can see Pitt really trying to collapse that in and protect the paint, doing a nice job, forcing the Noles to shoot from the outside. Mariana Valenzuela steps in the passing lane there, comes up with a big steal for the Noles.
Decent idea by Amy Hayford, trying to dish it to her teammate down low, but dished it, as you mentioned, straight to Mariana Valenzuela, and the no-look pass for Snoop Turnage on the other end led her out of play.
And Noles returned the favor then with the turnover right back as Omaria Gordon just threw it a little too high over those long arms of Snoop Turnage. Either team shooting the ball very well so far here. Pitt 3 of 12, Florida State just 3 of 10.
Mid-range jumper did everything but drop for Dayshanette. Harris now back the other way comes Snoop Turnage and the Noles. Three ball for Snoop Turnage off the mark to the right. Big offensive rebound by Valencia Myers. That one no good. And both teams, as you mentioned, Melissa, just there's a lid on both sides. And what a steal there by Omaria Gordon. Just jumped up and blocked the pass. And now here's Mariana Valenzuela back in the half court for the Noles.
Valencia Myers was trying to get to the low block and got her legs tangled up with Washinet's. Valencia Myers stayed down there. Don't like to see that. She's going to limp off. KK Timpson going to come back in. See Myers walking off very gingerly. Myers going to get some attention from athletic trainer Nicole Lowry. Sure she's okay. Florida State will have 20 seconds left to work with.
And off goes Valencia Myers, who's quickly approaching becoming the Seminole with the most career appearances. Just 6 away from that mark. And we certainly wish the best for her and her health. Bejedi had to force the shot right there before the horn and had it blocked. That's a shot clock violation. And more quality defense by Pitt.
Yeah, really good zone defense being played here by Pitt. Again, sagging off just a little bit, trying to force Florida State into shooting those long jumpers and not allowing any dribble penetration lanes for Florida State to get into the paint.
Florida State has made 3 threes. That is 9 of their 10 points, in addition to 1 free throw. Liatu King, the turnaround in and out. Another collision down low. Real physical play down on the low blocks, both sides. Now here comes Sara Bejedi trying to get into the middle of the defense. Florida State fans wanted a foul called.
You can see the minute any Florida State player puts the ball on the floor, Pitt jumps back a half step or a whole step, really just trying to make sure that Florida State cannot get by them and get into the paint. Really good defense so far by these Pitt Panthers.
Tonight, Latson checks in for Snoop Turnage. Teammates for a year at Westlake High School in Atlanta. Won the high school national championship when they played together. It'll be Bejedi to send it in.
Again, here's that matchup zone.
Valenzuela step inside the perimeter. She gets that to go. And Mariana Valenzuela is the leading scorer for Florida State here early.
It's a good in-rhythm jumper for Mariana Valenzuela. She has shown the ability to knock down that mid-range jumper as well as the three-pointer all season long when had the opportunity.
Washington's behind the screen. Too strong. Latson pushing tempo back the other way, and you can't let 0-0 get out and run like that. Pitt's done a good job of limiting Florida State, but when Florida State does get that look going back the other way, that's exactly how 0-0 can make you pay.
Those are the looks that Florida State wants to try to get, is to get out in transition. Sara Bejedi putting some pressure on the freshman Marley Washinets, and they're going to call that a turnover on the Pitt Panthers. Lance White asking for an explanation. Felt like there was some contact on Bejedi.
So as it stands, a 6-point lead for the Noles. Bejedi will send it in, and Florida State can hold for the final shot here of the quarter if they so choose to. 28.9 left in the quarter, and of course, with this being a fresh possession, Noles can milk as much of it again as they want.
And no surprises that they've got the ball in the hands of their leading scorer, Tanaya Latson. He's going to have the opportunity to make a play here.
Inside 10. Valenzuela, pressured by the freshman Strickland. Bejedi swings it to O'Brien for three. Short.
Right on target for Taylor O'Brien. We had a good angle. It looked good. Just a little short. Good defense by the Pitt Panthers to stop Florida State on that last possession.
Like to make Florida State fall here at the Donald L. Tucker Center. They're 0-7 to start ACC play. They've had, as we've mentioned a few times, their chances. They've had a few really good teams on the ropes and have played quite well, and that zone defense has given the Noles fits and kept the Panthers in it. They just need to score some offense on their own. KK Timpson not inclined to allow that to happen.
KK Timpson has really established herself as a premier shot blocker, leads the ACC in block shots, already has a couple here today, and is the reason that Florida State is second nationally in the country in block shots. They average almost 7 a game.
Yeah, that was actually her fourth in the
wow.
first quarter and minute.
That'll help her keep right at the top of the ACC.
I guess. Leah King just got the shot off right there at the buzzer. Back the other way come the Noles. Good ball movement, good look for Bejedi.
Big shot in transition for Florida State. Again, reversed the ball around and got the good look for Bejedi.
And just like that, Florida State has now more than doubled up the Panthers, 17-8. Back the other way, that three ball missed everything by the sophomore Malia Johnson.
Good hustle there by the two freshmen to try to keep the ball in play. It was Avery Strickland first, and then a hustle play by Washinets. Neither one could quite get to it.
And there is Lance White talking with Washinets. He's really complimentary of the fearlessness of each of those youngsters and how they've really adapted and acclimated to Division I basketball. There's certainly a common trend there between them and Tanaya Latson, who rises and fires from three. She certainly has been fearless in her own right.
Yeah, typically, most freshmen, it takes a little while to adjust to the style of play in the ACC. Tanaya Latson has been a little bit of an anomaly in that for Florida State.
Malia Johnson putting the ball on the floor, now putting it through the spin cycle, but took the extra step. And there's a traveling violation.
Checking into the game for Pitt now, Gabby Hutcherson, the 6'2 transfer from Ohio State. So we take a look here. 1, 2, 3 before she went up. Piece of officiating there to see the shuffle of the feet. Aaron Howard there launches one. Didn't quite have those feet set. Didn't get it to fall.
How about KK Timpson and the work she's done down low? Tied up Lewis, and that'll be Florida State basketball.
Yeah, Timpson hasn't been able to get in the scoring column yet for the Noles, but she's already got 4 blocks and 3 rebounds for Florida State, and a big tie up there to get the ball back for Florida State.
Latson on the run. I don't know how she got that to fall.
circus shot. I think she was trying to get to the free throw line and draw some contact, but didn't get the call, but got the bucket to go.
Strickland finds Liatu. And now Lewis operating from the wing.
It's the 5th offensive rebound already by the Pitt Panthers. Doing a nice job on the glass so far here early this afternoon.
Bejedi navigates traffic, now kicks it out to Howard. Down underneath the basket, KK Timpson is finally in the scorer's column. Timeout, Pitt.
Lance White needs a timeout here to try to stop the run of the Florida State Seminoles. They're off to a 7-0 run here to start the second quarter. Florida State leads 21-8 here at the Tucker Center.
To the insurance company,
Player who's had her hand in a lot of it is 00. Surprise, surprise. Tanaya Latson really starting to get the job done here.
Tanaya Latson shown the ability to knock down the long-range shot, knocks down the points in the paint there through some contact. Freshman doing an outstanding job here so far early on in this game and early on in this season.
And early on in her career, the fastest to 500 in program history. Achieved that at UVA. Slowed down a little bit, has only won 8 of 9 ACC Freshman of the Week awards. Has won several ACC Player of the Week awards. But what a talent and what a treat it is to watch her operate. Another one just rims out for Pittsburgh. This time it's Hutcherson who couldn't get the shot to drop. And back the other way comes Jasmine Massengill. Massengill, one of the top 10 players in the country in the assist-turnover ratio at 2.66. She dishes Omaria Gordon, who got knocked to the floor. And no foul was called.
Florida State that time much more patient, though, on the offensive end. Worked the ball around against that 2-3 zone. Found themselves an open shot after the inside out, but Gordon just not able to knock it down. Let's see if Pitt can get on the board here in the quarter.
Liatu King, athletic move, got back her own miss off a crazy Karam's second effort, no good. It'll be Florida State basketball.
Give Pitt credit, though. They are hustling on the offensive glass. Already 6 offensive boards, just 2 points to show for it, but they're continuing to battle hard on the offensive glass to get extra possessions and extra opportunities to score.
O'Brien from the corner, driving baseline too strong. Good to see Valencia Myers checking back in for the Noles. She was injured in the first quarter. Now here's Dayshanette Harris looking for some room off the elbow and was fouled on the way up.
Good shot fake there as Dayshanette Harris got into the paint, got a number of Seminoles off their feet, and then drew the contact to get herself to the free throw line. Harris on the season, about 8 points a game, shoots at 39% from the floor and 71% from the free throw line as she misses the first one there.
And we talked about how impressive Tanaya Latson has been. So too has been Dayshanette Harris, a member of the 2020 All-ACC freshman team, the fastest player in Pitt program history to 700 points, 250 rebounds, and 175 assists.
And then Florida State turns it over. A couple of players just not quite on the same page. Jazz Massengill thought Omaria Gordon was going to cut toward the bench, threw it that way, and Gordon was cut back to the middle. Pitt with another chance to cut into this Seminole lead.
And it goes. Omaria Gordon got a hand on the pass. It'll be a foul on number 3 in white. Actually, no, foul's going to be called against Dayshanette Harris.
It is. I think Omaria Gordon had actually beaten her to the ball. We're going to take another look at it. The deflection first from OMG, and then just a little extra shove there from Harris. Gets the ball back to Florida State.
Noles get it inside the zone, but there's a big block by Azeza. It remains with Florida State.
That was a big block from Azeza there. Came over off of the weak side as it looked like Jazz Massengill had beat her defender, was going to get a shot toward the rim, and Azeza comes over and swats that one away. She's really given Pitt some good minutes here as of late.
Yeah, that is Azeza's second block of the game. And the 3 attempt by Aaron Howard is off the mark. Now back the other way come the Panthers. Florida State's missed each of their last 4, and an offensive foul called against Hutcherson.
Hutcherson there was trying to set a ball screen, I believe, and I think Amaria Gordon ran right into it as Hutcherson did not stay set. We'll take another quick look at it. Absolutely. Amaria Gordon helping out the official point and going the other way. Thank you.
Turnovers have been a problem for Pittsburgh. 9 turnovers, and then when you have those types of interactions there where you get called for moving screens, that doesn't help the cause either. Valenzuela lost her footing, and so the blow-by Hutcherson could have led to a runner. That was short, and now a travel off the rebound attempt.
And you see in those hustle plays from the Pitt Panthers, that has to make Lance White happy that his team is continuing to fight and play with that aggressive nature on both ends of the floor. I think the officials got that one right. I didn't see a whole lot of contact on that. Players battling hard off the glass, and Liatu King lost her footing.
5 minutes left in the half here in Tallahassee. Florida State leads it 21-9.
Florida State there had a look inside the Valencia Myers and just couldn't get it in.
Inside 10 seconds for the Noles. Myers down low, baseline long.
It's going to be last touch, though, inside by Gabby Hutcherson. She was doing everything she could to keep Mariana Valenzuela off the glass on the weak side. Was going backwards, couldn't quite get to the basketball. Last touched by Pitt.
Fresh 20 for Florida State. O'Brien top of the key, too strong. Somehow tracked down her own miss. In a sea of blue, it was number 11 in white who got to the basketball first. Now mid-range, Latson, short.
Florida State now 0 of the last 8 from the floor. That's Azeza in there battling on the glass with the stick back for Pitt.
Florida State basketball.
Foul gonna go on Dayshanette Harris. In with another loose ball foul. Both players on the ground, diving after the ball. Florida State on a 3-minute and 12-second scoring drought. They have not scored since that timeout by head coach Lance White.
Noles started this quarter on a 7-zip run.
Wow, in the minute, Tanaya Latson catches the ball in the paint. Pitt sends 3 players at her. Latson trying to dribble through it, and not much chance there, and then commits the foul. Good defense again by the Pitt Panthers.
Can Pittsburgh get going offensively, however? Still only 11 points in the first half. Only 3 here in this quarter. Malia Johnson working down low. Now swings it back out to Amber Brown. Dayshanette Harris trying to break it down off the dribble and over Tanaya Latson. But she took an extra step. There's a traveling violation.
Dayshanette Harris doing her work so early there. Tries to get into the paint and spends all of her energy to get into the paint and then can't stop that momentum enough. Shuffled her feet as she tried to come to that hard jump stop. like she might have kept that back pivot foot. She'll say she dragged it. A turnover by Pitt, now their 11th of the game.
Amy Hayford knocked the ball away from Sara Bejedi, last to touch it though. So it remains with Florida State. Bejedi now, top of the key, swings it to Tanaya Latson. Five to shoot. Who will? Latson does. And it is short. Shot clock violation.
And Florida State a little too patient that time. Didn't move the ball with enough intensity and quickly enough to reverse the floor and force that Pitt defense to shift. Florida State doesn't want to settle for the three, but right now they're having trouble getting anything in the paint at all against this Pitt defense.
Noles are 0 of their last 9, 1 of their last 11. On the other side, Pitt's turned the ball over 4 times in the last 3 minutes. There's another big offensive rebound by Azeza. Hayford looking for space. Step back short. And now the Noles have numbers as they try to run the floor. Bejedi with the extra pass to Tanaya Latson, and she'll shoot a couple of free throws.
Great execution there on the transition break. Sara Bejedi grabs the loose ball rebound, sprints out. Tanaya Latson runs the lane on the right side. Bejedi draws the defense, gives it to Latson for the scoring opportunity. Good unselfish play, good execution by the Noles. See if Latson can make them pay from the free throw line. Noles have only been there 2 times. They were one of the top free throw shooting teams in the country. 3rd nationally in free throws made, lead the ACC. They average 17 free throws per game.
And as we take a look at Tanaya Latson's ability to score the basketball, can do it at every conceivable level. An 87% foul shooter, part of the mix, and she makes both of her first 2 free throws of the game, now to 9 points in this contest. In ACC play, Florida State's defense, in terms of the team that they've held to the lowest amount of points, that was Georgia Tech. They had only scored 21 points at home in the Camish Pavilion against Florida State. As it stands right now, with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left here in the half, Pittsburgh's only got 11. Contested on the inbounds. They'll probably call Tanaya Latson for that. In fact, they will. That's her second.
Latson going for the steal, but Bulls really can't afford that as they need their leading scorer on the floor. Latson gonna have to go to the bench with 2 personal fouls. Maria Gordon gonna check back in for the Noles.
Amy Hayford had it rejected. That's block number 5 for KK Timpson. And a jump ball is called down underneath the basket.
KK Timpson coming up big in the paint today for Florida State. Take another look here. There's a scrum on the floor there as a number of players all diving for that loose ball, but KK Timpson defending in the paint for Florida State today, making it very difficult for Pitt to get anything inside.
Ball will remain with the Panthers, only 11 left to shoot. And Harris nearly lost the handle off the inbounds pass. Instead, keeps it, turns around, scores, and will shoot a free throw.
Dayshanette Harris just backs down Omaria Gordon. Some old school basketball there. Puts it on the floor, backs her in, finishes through the contact. Good play off the bench today for Dayshanette Harris. 6 points already to lead the Pitt Panthers. Make it 7.
No field goals on the other side, though, for Florida State in the last 5.5 minutes.
Again, credit Pitt's defense. They have made things incredibly difficult for Florida State, really giving them no options except to shoot the 3, and even those have been contested.
It's Aaron Howard up top for Florida State. And now Bejedi on the wing. 5 to shoot. And she was fouled on the way in by Amy Hayford.
That is 5 fouls, now 6 team fouls, so that will send Bejedi to the free throw line for the bonus. It is the second foul also on Amy Hayford. So Hayford, Harris, King for Pitt, all with 2 personal fouls.
Friendly roll for Sara Bejedi on the first of her free throw attempts. Comes into today a 77% foul shooter and has now made 72 of 93.
What won't show up on the stat sheet is how hard Sara Bejedi has made it on the point guards for Pitt. She has been all over it on the defensive end.
And there's a strong rebound by Bejedi. Now pushing pace the other way. Coast to coast, number 4 in white with Florida State's first bucket in over 6 minutes.
Got Sara Bejedi starting to heat up for Florida State.
13-point lead for Florida State inside the final minute of the half. Strickland puts it on the floor, tries to get through. There's block number 6 by KK Timpson. Lob to Timpson, extra pass Howard. That is fantastic ball movement. And Florida State has now doubled up the Panthers.
That's a highlight reel type of play there from the 2 post players for Florida State. Howard to Timpson, back to Howard for the lay-in. Just like that was a 6-0 run for Florida State.
7-second differential between shot and half clock. That one no good, and now here comes Bejedi trying to run the floor. Pitt does have numbers, and she'll pull it back out. Florida State can hold for the final shot of the half, and they will indeed do so.
It's good recognition by the Seminoles to hold that one up.
Amaria Gordon for 3. No good. Brown corrals it, and that is how the first half will come to an end. The Noles lead it by 15. Inspired defense by Florida State has allowed them to double up Pittsburgh despite some fallow times on their own offensive side. They finished with the flurry 6-0 over the last minute and consecutive games for the Noles. That is the longest streak amongst the entire roster here in Tallahassee. So back underway we go here in quarter number 3. Florida State gets Massengill inside the zone. She kicks it out to guess who? Tanaya Latson. And that's a good opening look for the Noles.
Look out if Florida State can start to get hot from beyond the perimeter. They have had some open looks from 3. They've passed a lot of them up.
And the baseline jumper by Malia Johnson airmails the basket. Latson with the board. And now here comes Sara Bejedi. Inside to Latson, count it, and 1.
Nia Latson caught the ball right there in the middle of that zone defense. Talked about that earlier in the game, how that would be a place that Florida State wanted to get the ball. They've gotten it there now twice. This time Latson right there just below the ACC and able to split the defenders of Pitt. Get to the free throw line and make the three-pointer the old-fashioned way. She starts out on a little 6-0 run of her own here to start the third quarter.
I was just about to say 9 points in the first half for Latson, 6 points in the first minute for Latson as she watches a 3 crash through over top of her. That's Strickland, the freshman, making another one. Howard nearly lost the handle, now kicks it to Timpson down low. She's double-teamed. She does lose the handle. And there's a turnover by the Panthers.
Just a sloppy possession overall for Florida State as they nearly turned it over trying to get it to Howard out on the perimeter.
Pittsburgh trying to cut into this Florida State lead with more on what their head coach Lance White said to Mackenzie at the half. Here is the third member of our team, Mackenzie Blaze.
Thanks, guys. I spoke to Coach White coming out of the locker room and just asked what his team needs to do in order to stay in this game. And he told me they need to do what they do better, take care of the ball, and the shots will start to fall. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mackenzie. And as you mentioned it, there's a live ball turnover. Now Bejedi back the other way with the left hand, lays it in transition.
She gets a little high five from her head coach there as she gets back on the defensive end. Good defense led to good offense for Florida State.
Well, so you mentioned 11 turnovers by Pittsburgh in the first half. Just cannot win a whole lot of basketball games when you start recording that many in a half, no less. Fouled on the way up.
Is that on KK Timpson or on Aaron?
It's going to be on Aaron Howard here.
Aaron Howard with a little bit too much body contact. Here we go with the nice move from Sara Bejedi. Finishes with the left hand and then gets a little high five from her head coach as she runs back to the other end. Nice lefty finish there for Bejedi. Bejedi now 9 points, 3 of 6 shooting, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. No turnovers for Bejedi. Good stat line for her.
On the other side, the leading scorer for Pittsburgh, Leah Chu King, if she makes this free throw, it would be her first point of the game.
King has not found her rhythm here yet. 0 of 6 from the floor, does have a couple of rebounds, but got those 2 personal fouls and had to spend some time on the bench in the first half. Let's see if that free throw will help get her started.
Tanaya Latson was in the right place, but the turnaround was short. Now back the other way comes Washinitz, guarded by Bejedi, and there's a steal by Latson. Now in transition, Taylor O'Brien couldn't track it down.
Florida State again getting the steal defensively, doing everything they needed to with Bejedi and Latson coming up with the steal, and then just couldn't quite convert it on the other end. Give Pitt credit, they hustled back and made it difficult.
Amy Hayford nearly lost her footing, got around Bejedi. And now Strickland will fire another 3. That was well off the mark. Aaron Howard with the board. Latson pushing tempo. Nice pass down to KK Timpson. And she'll shoot a couple of free throws.
Timpson just needed to put that one up off the glass. I think she tried to kind of finger roll it in over the top of the rim. Couldn't get it to fall, but again, those transition buckets is what we're seeing early here in the third quarter for Florida State. What has allowed them to get into a better rhythm offensively. Stops and scores. And that up-tempo style of play for Florida State.
Six blocks, 5 boards, now 3, potentially 4 points for KK Timpson to this point in the game. It'll stay at 3, but Aaron Howard tracks down the miss.
Big offensive rebound for Florida State to give them an extra possession.
10 left here on the shot clock. Bejedi driving downhill, banks it off the glass.
That's the bank shot I was looking for from KK Timpson. Good use of the glass by Bejedi as she gets into double figures now for 11 points.
Amber Brown spun downhill. We'll see who they call the foul on. It's going to be, I believe, against KK Timpson. That'll be her second. Aaron Howard was a little mystified. She was about to say, how do you call that on me? And, well, they didn't.
It'll send KK Timpson to the bench. Valencia Myers will come back in for Florida State. I mentioned earlier, good to see Myers back in there as she got her knee tangled up earlier in the game, had to be helped off. Good to see her back out there for Florida State. She has been a familiar face for 5 years now in that Florida State lineup.
And as we mentioned in the first half, quickly climbing in terms of the career appearances numbers, now within 5 of becoming the all-time leader in appearances in Florida State program history. That pass was nearly stolen away by Brown.
Talk about Valencia Myers and all the games that she's played. Amber Brown now with her 99th start. I believe she has started every game since she has been at Pitt.
Good ball movement. Valencia Myers hits the deck after the shot attempt. Now back the other way. Brown kicks it out to Amy Hayford. Latson tried to swipe the ball away. Hayford now has a look from the corner. From the wing, and now an offensive rebound by Amber Brown.
Another big offensive rebound, 12 now in the game for Pitt.
And there's another turnover. Live ball one at that, and that you cannot do when Florida State's got Tania Latson streaking across the floor ahead of everybody.
Right place, right time. Taylor O'Brien in perfect position, comes up with the big steal, and then the run-out layup for Tania Latson.
No field goals in the last 3 minutes and 14 seconds for Pittsburgh, and Florida State is out to a 22-point lead. Latson in transition. You can play that song on repeat over and over again. Center, Florida State playing some pretty darn good basketball here in quarter number 3, and Sara Bejedi has been playing some pretty darn good basketball today in general.
She has been playing fantastic over the last 4 or 5 games now for Florida State, really being aggressive with that attack mentality in transition, able to score from beyond the arc as we've seen, but also get into the paint, finish at the rim through the contact. Another outstanding game from Bejedi here this afternoon.
11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, has not turned the ball over on her own accord as well. Second effort here, that is no good. Valencia Myers clears the board, and back the other way comes Taylor O'Brien. O'Brien working downhill, creating some space, couldn't get the shot to go, and Myers' attempt to corral the offensive rebound goes into the hands of Amber Brown. Strickland now on the dribble drive, baseline swatted away by Valencia Myers.
To wonder if those blocks are just contagious for Florida State. They see KK Timpson do it, and then her teammates are like, I can do that too. Player like Valencia Myers with a big block there. We take another look, just coming down and help side here. Let me swat that one away. Strickland didn't even ever see her coming.
First block by a Seminole without the name KK Timpson. 7 for Florida State as a whole. Azeza tried to lay it in up and around the body of Valencia Myers. She brings down another board. And here comes Omaria Gordon. Valenzuela for 3. Just cashing in absolute money from the perimeter all season long.
Mariana Valenzuela now today, 3 of 4 from the floor, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line, over 60% this season from 3.
How about Tania Latson getting in the passing lane, then running the floor on the way up? There was a lot of contact there. Shot didn't fall. She did. On the other side, here's Dayshanette Harris. Harris down low, the look to Hutcherson, no good.
Last couple possessions, Pitt has gotten really good looks in the paint, but just have not been able to finish. Tania Latson there got into the paint, couldn't finish through the contact, no whistle. And I believe Amy Hayford was on the ground. Take a look at that inside out. Pitt right there with a hand in Valenzuela's face. She still was able to knock that one down.
25-point lead for the Noles as we had
opportunity to set her mark on the record books for Florida State. Will move into games played, career games played. Should likely break that record as well. But anytime you're mentioned in the same breath with a WNBA All-Star and a Hall of Famer in your current head coach, that's a pretty good company that you keep.
Still nothing falling for Pittsburgh. That was a pretty good look down low. Valenzuela's pass picked away, and back the other way comes the Panthers. Azeza with the steal, and now Hayford operating in the half court. Down low intended for Azeza, knocked away by Timpson. Should remain with the Panthers.
Take a look here at that last bucket by Maria Gordon off the inbounds play. Well drawn up. First 2 points of the game for Maria Gordon.
Rolls on a 7-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes. That ball was knocked away. A foul called on the floor.
That was on Gordon as she was trying to make sure that Dayshanette Harris did not get the backdoor cut on the inbounds play. And Gordon just a little bit late getting there. Was able to swat the ball away, but got a piece of Dayshanette Harris as well.
Nice physical lay-in by Harris. Got that ball to drop. Was double-teamed down low. Now back the other way comes Omaria Gordon. Lead back down to 25 after being as many as 27. Snoop Turnage swings it over to O'Brien. 10 to shoot for the Noles. And O'Brien was fouled inside. It'll be against Cynthia Azeza. And that'll earn a couple of free throw attempts for Taylor O'Brien.
Gets that offhand actually from Azeza that got her the foul called. I think she was clean up top, but Taylor O'Brien, I was about to say, one of the best free throw shooters on this Seminole team, 86% from the line. O'Brien misses the first.
Splits the pair. And Florida State as a team is 8 of 11, 73% in this game. Aislinn Malcolm checking in. Baseline jumper, no good. Here's Gordon driving downhill. O'Brien will do the same, looking for the bank off the glass. That won't go, and then KK Timpson could not get that ball up. Harris, no. Turnage with the board.
Turnage giving Florida State some good minutes here late in the third quarter. A good look inside for KK Timpson.
5 points now for Timpson in this one. Florida State has reached 50 points in this game. There's a steal. Taylor O'Brien picked the pass, keeps it herself, was short on the lay-in attempt. And an offensive foul called against the Noles.
And foul going to go on Omaria Gordon away from the ball. Guess they're going to say that she shoved a Pitt player as she was trying to go for the rebound. We'll take another look here. Taylor O'Brien trying to finish, can't quite get it up there. And then Gordon did, in fact, get a little contact with Dayshanette Harris, which is what the officials saw.
Inside 2 minutes left here of quarter number 3. Johnson finds Hayford off the wing. Hayford trying to dump it down. There's a steal by Valencia Myers. Pittsburgh, one of their last 13 from the floor. Latson dumps it off with Valencia Myers, and she's fouled on the way up.
Nice pass by Tanaya Latson, gets into the paint, and you know everybody's focus is on her the minute she puts the ball on the floor, and Pitt defense collapses on her, and she throws it over the top to Valencia Myers. Good court awareness by the freshman. Myers on the season, 76% from the line.
This is the front end. We'll go ahead and take a look at that sequence.
Big block from Valencia Myers there, gets things going, and then on the offensive end, can't quite finish, but gets 1 of 2 from the free throw line for Florida State.
Lead is 29 for the Seminoles. Their largest at any point. The 5 on the floor for Pittsburgh. There's a block by Tanaya Latson. We'll come back to that thought here in a second. Bejedi with a minute left in the quarter. Knocks down a 3.
Sara Bejedi playing with so much confidence right now for Florida State. teammates feeding off of her. 14 points now for Bejedi as she comes up with the steal on the defensive end. Nearly. Wow.
King couldn't get it to go. And Valenzuela will be called for the foul on the putback attempt. And that missed layup attempt by King highlights the point I was about to make before the Latson steal. Of the 5 players on the floor at the moment for Pittsburgh, not a single one has made a shot.
It's been a tough day for Pitt from the floor, shooting just 13%, 7 of 52 from the floor. They're getting some good looks, just haven't been able to knock those down. And I think Florida State, too, defensively really has locked down and made things difficult for Pitt on the offensive end.
Destiny Strother checking in now for the Panthers. Seeing some action here in the second half. Turnage launches, fires, and Snoop, there it is.
Snoop Turnage, freshman here for Florida State. Talked about her being high school teammates with Tanaya Latson. She just has that championship mentality. There you see her coming up with a big defensive rebound to start the break.
Outlet pass to Latson, and 2 free throws upcoming.
Florida State with 28 points in this quarter, and this is more of the style of play that we're used to Florida State playing. They are 5th nationally in scoring. Tanaya Latson is a big reason why. To build on that, Florida State averages 86 points a game, so to see just 29 points at the half was a little bit surprising and a credit to Pitt's defense. Florida State has made some adjustments here in the third quarter. And is now, if Latson can connect on this second of her 2 free throws, will put up 30 here in the third quarter.
Latson on her own, averaging right around 26 points per game at home this season. Now up to 19, and Snoop Turnage pressures the freshman Washinitz off the inbounds. Pitt couldn't get a shot off, and Florida State just absolutely pummeled the Panthers in quarter number 3. A 30-point third for Florida State. They lead at 59-23, heading to the home quarter here at the Tuck. And not bad for a team picked preseason number 9 in their own conference. Sean Davison, Melissa Bruner, our entire ACC Network Extra crew on hand with you here in Florida's capital city of Tallahassee.
John, you mentioned that about pick 9th. I think this is a Florida State team that has played like they have a chip on their shoulder most of this season. Still unranked despite being potentially 18-4, and it's a team that's hungry, that has something to prove, and they're playing like it here today.
2 top 15 wins as well for the Wyckoff Seminoles on the road at UNC, and then again at home against NC State. There's the first field goal make for Valencia Myers. Good find down low to number 32 in white.
Yeah, good patience against that zone again. Good ball movement. Flipped the side of the floor a couple times and then looked inside for the no move needed for Valencia Myers.
Washinitz finds Johnson. Johnson puts up the 3. It is short. There's Valencia Myers bringing that back down out of the air. Sara Bejedi pushing pace the other way and will earn a trip to the free throw line to shoot a couple more.
Sean, I'm not sure, but I think Aaron Howard might have gotten a hand on that ball as short as that one was, and if that's the case, that would be the 12th block for they did give her a block, so that is 11, now blocks for Florida State. Again, they lead the ACC, 2nd nationally with about 7 a game, 11 well above their season average.
And speaking about season averages, you mentioned early that Sara Bejedi's average point total has been on the rise. She continues to play incredibly well. Now with 16 off a couple of free throw makes in this one. To this point this season, she is tied for 5th in conference play amongst all players. In terms of 20-point games, she has 3 and could very well have a 4th here today.
Sara Bejedi playing extremely well and just again with that level of confidence that really just she exudes it, and it helps carry over to her teammates there on the floor.
Out wide she goes to Massengill. Massengill now kicks it back out top to Bejedi. That one's strong. Myers tried to bring down the offensive board. Off the carom, got it, and scores.
Erin Howard kept that ball alive for Florida State. It looked like Gabby Hutcherson was going to come down with it. Howard got a hand in it, swatted it away, and swatted it right to her teammate, Valencia Myers, for the stick back. Myers now 5 points, 8 rebounds, and a couple of blocks.
Strother could not connect on that 3 ball. Myers with another board. Now here comes Omaria Gordon. 3 fouls tied up for the moment by Washinitz. Here's Massengill launching for 3. That is no good. Erin Howard with the offensive board, puts it back up, turns around, no. And now Liatu King brings down the defensive rebound. Noles lead it by 42. King down low, driving on Valencia Myers. Now swinging it out wide to Malia Johnson. Johnson, a player who has really taken a big step forward between year 1 and year 2. And now a second chance for her and the remainder of her Panthers squad. That no good by Liatu King. And here is Jazz Massengill and Omaria Gordon clearing the board and bringing it across. Wholesale substitutions coming for the Panthers, a couple for Florida State as well. And as we take a timeout on the floor, we'll head to a quick commercial break. The Noles lead at 65-23.
Cycling was a lifesaver. It really was.
High in blocks. Again, the leading scorer for Pittsburgh. Certainly better days ahead for King, who's played some pretty darn good basketball this year. One of the better blockers in the conference.
Yeah, top 10 in the conference, both in rebounds and in blocks, as Liatu King averages almost 8.5 rebounds a game. And as we saw there, over 11 points a game. And big play there coming out of the timeout as they are able to come up with the steal, are the Pitt Panthers. And then the foul on Taylor O'Brien. It's a good trap that was set by the Panthers. Florida State had inbounded the ball and got it up to KK Timpson, who was then trapped.
A couple of free throw makes for Taisha Exonor. And just going back to King and her blocking ability. She's 6 feet tall, and I think when a lot of folks think of formidable shot blocking, they think you got to be north of 6 feet. You have to be a tree, if you will. She's one of only about 5 players in the country that rank top 50, top 60 in blocks that is 6 feet or shorter.
Yeah, she does a great job defensively, a really versatile post player, can make things happen in the paint. And credit Florida State's post players, KK Timpson and Valencia Myers, Erin Howard, who've done a really good job to keep King off the stat column today. It has come out, yeah, it really forced some turnovers here. 3 turnovers now for Florida State.
And here's Shanice Lewis, just made the last basket. The transfer from Maryland now dishes it out to Exonor, the 3 ball off the mark. Florida State basketball with 6:05 left in regulation.
Pitt sending 2 players to the ball each time that it comes across. That time, a little bit too much contact by Exonor, just her first personal. There you saw Sara Bejedi kind of surveying the floor, trying to figure out exactly what kind of defense Pitt was in and where the trap or the defender's help side might be coming from.
Tried to skip that to Erin Howard, had it knocked out of play. It should remain with the Seminoles. In fact, it will, but there's only 7 ticks left on the shot clock. In it goes to Timpson. Bejedi lines up a 3 and cashes it in. Sara Bejedi with 19 points. That equals Tanaya Latson as the leading scorers on the floor. Again,
another nice move by Exonor. Just can't get it to fall. Aaron Howard can't keep it in, and the ball will stay with Pitt.
But a good day on the boards for Aaron Howard, though. 8 rebounds. Couldn't secure that one. Would have been rebound number 9.
Florida State is out-rebounding Pitt, 47-40 on the glass, but Pitt with 19 offensive rebounds here this afternoon. That will have to make Coach White happy. Love the effort that he's seeing from his Panthers on the glass.
Bejedi wasting no time, just split the seas coming back through. And now here comes Pittsburgh back the other way and knocked out of play. Should remain with the Panthers.
In the Seminole lineup for Sara Bejedi, number 3, Mariana Gordon.
Maria Gordon subbing in for Sara Bejedi. Lewis for 3. No. And Tania Latson stepped down on the baseline.
That'll be a fresh 20 on the clock for Pitt. Be another blocked shot for Florida State. And on the save for Mari Gordon in the right spot.
A block and a steal for Florida State. Now here's Valenzuela, and the Noles have really got it rolling now.
Valenzuela now into double figures, 11 points. She's the third Seminole in double figures. Latson with 19, Bejedi with 19.
Strickland launches and hits.
Her third 3 of the game. I've been impressed with what I've seen from the freshman Avery Strickland.
4 minutes left. Latson rolling down to the basket, had her pocket picked. Lewis, right past Latson, lays it in.
Veteran Shanice Lewis, the graduate transfer from Maryland. KK Timpson back on the other end with the lay-in.
Yeah, nice find by Tania Latson. 21 in white left all alone down low. Strickland, why not? Another offensive rebound. That one is short. Timpson with another rebound of her own. Behind the back dribble for Tania Latson. She'll pull it back out. And Maria Gordon will earn a trip to the free throw line.
Mari Gordon, nice shot fake there. Takes it right at Azeza. Just the second foul on Azeza, but Azeza, 11 rebounds already, just 2 points, but she's done a nice job on the glass for Pitt today.
Career high in rebounds for Azeza is 13. Has set a new season high with these 11 today. First free throw is up and good for Omaria Gordon. And Melissa, this one wasn't easy for Florida State early. They were stifled by Pitt's defense. And if you're going to be a good team in the ACC or in the country, you've got to win in a variety of ways. And Florida State has proven today that they are capable of doing so.
Yeah, again, you know, these coaches in the ACC are going to try to throw different things at Florida State because they are the leading scoring team, top scoring team in the ACC. You're going to see different zone defenses. You're going to see different kinds of traps and matchups. And Florida State, it took them a little while to adjust, but once they have found their rhythm, they have been good here in the second half.
Nice looking jumper there by Aislinn Malcolm, making the 3 for Pittsburgh. Pitt now with 35 in the game. Florida State off the Valenzuela miss. Omaria Gordon will miss as well. And so as we approach the end of regulation, Melissa, I want to have a bit of a longer conversation about what each game means for Florida State. Obviously, any win you can get in the ACC means a heck of a lot. But for Florida State, although the players need to focus on each game as it comes, there's folks out there that are keeping track of the metrics, and the Noles are ranked 16th in the net ranking, so they are right there on that bubble of perhaps being able to host in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and the net, honestly, is more important than the AP rankings or the coaches poll rankings. The net is the one that the committee is looking at as the true judge of how good teams really are, and Noles right where they need to be. Again, everybody in the country wants to be able to have the opportunity to host those first and second rounds on your campus, and if you are one of the top 16 seeds, you have that opportunity. And so that's something that I'm sure Brooke Wyckoff and her staff are keeping an eye on. Again, it's not based strictly on net. There's a variety of factors, but net certainly one of them that it is the number that folks look at when they're trying to compare teams. Top 20 wins, top 50 wins, those kinds of things, also what you're looking at. Scoring margin as well, one that gets looked at.
Inspired stuff here by Pitt in quarter number 4. They have cut the lead down to 37. And Valenzuela was pushed out of bounds. That'll be a foul, I believe, against Strickland.
No free throws yet, as that's just the 4th team foul. Good transition bucket there by Pitt as Exenor leaks out behind all of the Florida State Seminoles and gets the easy lay-in.
Yeah, Pitt's been able to do that, get out and run in transition a little bit more often here in quarter number 4. 3 ball no good from the wing. Malcolm looking for another 3. That is short. Tipped around. Azeza had her hands on what could have been rebound number 12. Actually, that would have been rebound number 14. She's already picked up a couple more.
Yeah, picked up a couple.
Jeez.
We were talking about net, and she's out there getting rebounds.
That equals a career high for Azeza.
And just coming back off an injury, good to see her healthy and playing well for the Pitt Panthers.
Offensive rebound for Romaria Gordon as the Noles have it inside the final minute.
Nearly a turnover there. Gordon trying to get it inside to Timpson.
Stolen away by Azeza. Here comes Pittsburgh. Malcolm made a 3 a few minutes ago. There's another block by Florida State. This time I believe Valenzuela got her hands in there for it. And the Noles can run out the clock. Omaria Gordon content to dribble it away. And the Noles at this game's end will have doubled up the Pittsburgh Panthers and win it 74-37 at the Donald L. Tucker Center. The Noles improved to 7-2 as they start off ACC play and get ready for a big week ahead against the Irish and the Blue Devils.
Yeah, big week ahead. You needed to take care of business here if you're Florida State to secure the win on your home floor, but you know that those players had an eye on the Fighting Irish and the Duke Blue Devils, the 2 teams that are sitting